Welcome back, ladies, blokes, and MB folks, to Brownlow Books. In a weird turn of events, I'm actually telling you about two books this week. So I read Days at the Morisaki Bookshop and More Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. I do have an advanced copy of this that was sent to me in exchange for a free review, blah, 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 whatever, you know. I had not read the first one previous to receiving this one, so I borrowed it from the library, and then I have this one, so we're doing both. We're doing both in one, because why not? They're short, they go together, it makes sense, right? Okay, so, in the first one, Takako has, broken up with her boyfriend, had a really bad breakup. He's like getting married to someone else, and she's like, what? And her uncle invites her to come work at the bookshop that he has. He's the third generation proprietor of. He'll get better, you know. So the first one is really about like her healing. It's very like uplifting, and like it's about her learning to relearning basically the love of reading. And so she's like surrounded by all these books all of a sudden, and then she's just like, oh, I could just like pick one up and read it. And she just like reads one and is just like, I guess I love reading. And it's like, yes, girl, that's how it happens. The first one is split into two parts. So the first part is very much Takako and like all of her stuff at the bookstore, and then the second one is when Momoko comes into the story, who is her uncle's wife, who kind of like fucked off for a little while and came back and is like, hey. So that's what the first one is. It's, you know, healing Takako and the community that's like around her, and how everything kind of works together with, you know, your family, your friends, just like the general vibe of an area you're in. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from it. The second one, it's a little darker, it's a little sadder. Not gonna lie about that. This one is 3 years after the first one. Takako is off at her new job, she's got a boyfriend, she's got her own place, like, she good. But like her friends and her loved ones around her aren't good. And so while the first book was very much about her healing, the second one is very much about like her helping everyone else heal. And it's just like such a lovely little like thing of community in both of them. Like, there is strength in community, whether it's, you know, who you're given or who you choose to be around. Like, there's a strength there, and it's nice how everyone can come together. And so that's kind of like the overarching theme of both of them. I will say style between the first one and the second one felt a little different, even though I don't believe they're written that far apart that like the style would have evolved to me being like, is this the same writer? But yeah, the style felt very different. I felt the first one to be sort of simple, kind of simple, and like there was just like less depth of things overall. Whereas in the second one, it's much deeper. It feels a little, I don't know, because first one being simple, the second one I'm not going to say it's absolutely like complex, weird sentences that you're not going to understand. It just feels a little like fuller. I don't know. Makes sense in my brain. The last half of this one is very sad. My husband came home from his friend's house, and I was sitting on the couch sobbing, and he was like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, Momogo! And he's like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, so yeah, the second half one of this one is hard. It's hard. I had a hard time in the first one because Uncle Satoru, what was his name? Satoru. I got the letters mixed up. He reminded me a lot of my uncle. And I got sad. Why are you crying? Stop it. Yeah, the first one made me sad sometimes just because I miss him. And I don't know, this was just like the older Japanese version of him. I don't know. But Yeah, it just made me miss him a lot. That's all I'll say about that. There's lots of like cozy sort of as a genre going around, like, you know, it's your cozy mystery, your cozy little beach read, like lots of things being called cozy these days, cozy romance, like that kind of thing. I don't want to go as far to say that this is cozy, but it is very much like slow and gentle and deliberate. And so like I could see how people would call it cozy, get like a little bit of that, but I don't see it as that like kind of cozy compared to what we're calling other things cozy. That may just be like, I don't know, due to translation maybe. It just doesn't feel like the other things that we're calling cozy do, okay? So I don't call this cozy. I would call it slow and gentle and deliberate. It is nothing crazy happening at any time. It is just literally the days at the bookshop. Which brings me into some weird reviews that I saw. I kept seeing reviews that were like, I liked the days at the bookshops, but not the other days. I liked when they were in the bookshop. I didn't like when they were outside the bookshop. And I was just like, what the fuck? It's like, tell me that you've only ever bought books from a chain bookstore before. Like, this is a whole street of independent bookstores. Like it's almost like, do you think bookshops are only about books? Like, imagine thinking that bookstores are only about books and not about the people that are in them, the people who run them, the choices they make of things to stock in that bookstore. It was just baffling to me that people were like, I liked when they were in the bookstore, not outside of it. And it's just like, so you like books and not people. Why? I don't like people. I like reading people. I don't like real people. But you just like saying that you like books, but not the people in bookstores feels really weird. Like, an independent bookstore is not about the books. An independent bookstore is about the community around said bookstore. And so I found those reviews kind of baffling of like, you only buy books online, don't you? You only buy books from like big chains, right? Like, it was a really weird thing to find in reference to literally a book about a bookstore. Did I enjoy the times in the bookstore? Yes. Did I enjoy the times outside the bookstore? Also yes, because, like, it's a story. These people all go together. They're in their community. They're literally going to, like, little cafes and restaurants and other bookstores, and it's just like, some people are weird. Yeah, that was a weird thing to find. I didn't like when they were outside the bookstore. Baffling. Okay, so book 1 has almost 77,000 ratings on Goodreads with a 3.65. This one only came out in July. The second, if this is right, on the spine here. So it has not been out for a long time, right? So it has 5,242 ratings on it, and it works out to a 3.82, which makes sense because you're not reading the second book unless you already liked the first book, so it's normal for a second book to have a higher rating than a first book, right? Think about it. It makes sense. Okay, so do I feel that's fair for people who are reading this and not getting it? Yeah. Because there's a lot of people out there, there are a lot of people out there that are like, things need to happen, things need to go, they need to be fast, and they need to be like entirely based on what's happening in the book. And it's just like, this is a softer book. This is slow and gentle and not just, here's some things happening, you know? And I feel like this kind of book is not for everyone. There is a kind of person who reads this book. I kind of love the slow books. I have read a fair amount of slow books, you know, where it's just kind of like, we're living life, this is going, that's that. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that every once in a while because, like, I enjoy all kind of books. Not a huge fan of sci-fi or high fantasy. I'm warming up to some horror. Still not a huge fan. But, like, of the different kinds, like, the like a very character-based versus very, like, plot-based. Like, I'm fine. I'm fine anyway. But this slow, gentle, deliberate kind of thing that's happening in this kind of book is just often in my heart. And the second half of this one, while heavy, was, like, heartwarming at the same time. Yeah. Anyways, do I think it deserves the reviews, ratings that it has? The second one, yes. 3.8 is... yeah. A 3.6 on the first one. Which one did I actually like more? I'm not sure which one I liked more. The second one was very sad. But the first one also made me cry, missing my uncle, so I don't really know. I don't really know. I liked both of them. They go well together. Like, they don't feel like two entirely disjointed books. I mean, they're short. They could have been smashed into one longer book, and it probably would have been okay. But then people would be like, they feel very different, like it's a different book in the middle. You cannot win with people. I'm over it. I'm over trying to figure people out. I'm done. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second one. Together, also enjoyed. Do I recommend? Yes. If you are the kind of person who either, one, enjoys translated novels, or two, enjoys that, like, slow. Because not everyone enjoys the slow. Not, like, it's, like I said, it's not cozy, but it is comforting. So if you enjoy that kind of book, then yes, absolutely. I think, especially if you like bookshops. If you're like fast-paced adventure and like bookshops, it's not going to be for you. You are not going to enjoy this. So yeah, it can be enjoyed. And I think the first book, I mean, if you're into any of those things, at least try it. Like I said, they're both under 200 pages. Like, they're not long books. What's it gonna hurt to give it a try, right? Give books you don't think you're gonna like a try every once in a while. Did I think I was gonna like horror? Fuck no. Have I read a bunch for me in the last year and a half? Yeah, I have. And I'm like, I enjoyed these. Like, it doesn't hurt to try every once in a while. Do I know not all horror is going to be for me? Absolutely, because these, like, weird body-snatching insect things? No, thank you. Weedigos? Hell yes. Give me a cultural horror story, and apparently I'm into it. So, but yeah, I don't think it would hurt to try. I mean, why not? It's a great book. They're both great books. I'm just looking at this one. I don't have the other one. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you around next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.